Finally, the Samsung Galaxy Tab S2 has arrived, and this is a big version now with 9.7 inch. There's a little smaller one with 8 inch, like that one over here. And for the first time I hold it in my hand, it was a wow factor, as I thought, wow, is this lightweight and compact incredible. This comes of two things. First, it's just 5.6 millimeters thick compared to the iPad Air 2, that's 6.1 millimeters, so thinner than the iPad Air 2, and especially way more lightweight, 392 grams instead of 444. This is something you really will recognize and realize and especially love, I guess. At least I did, and nevertheless, it's very solid build, so if you try to wind it, you won't see any black or white dots where the glass is going down onto the panel, so solidly built nevertheless, and that's the first one. And the other thing is, if you compare it to the first Tab S, let me grab it. This here is the big one, the 10.5 inch version here. So of course this is bigger and thicker and everything. But what I wanted to show you is, if you compare the sizes, it's not that much smaller with the millimeters here, but if you compare this one here with this one, you will see the difference. The predecessor was 16 by 9, so meaning the typical landscape format. You have the buttons here, Samsung logo over there, and that now changed to 4 by 3. Yeah, iPad Air, here we are. So 4 by 3 is, and especially the buttons are now not on the right side, to be honest, it's now the lower side, because you see the Samsung logo over there. And that means that Samsung says, okay, lots of people use their tablets, or most of people, like this as they are reading, let's say, news pages like this one. Okay, you can read them in landscape format too, but it's something different. And especially if you think of PDFs or Word documents, static documents, you can change in the layout. So classical example is, you have a print magazine going to online, and you have PDF. So this is readable, not in landscape format. So this might really be better. And even if you're not using this one, it's nevertheless a better decision if you think of landscape format. Where is your thumb? Right here, exactly. So this is better in both cases, instead of changing like on the predecessor here down to this one. So it's a better decision. Let's not discuss about that. It's still AMOLED, of course. You have still the same great high contrasts, you know, and the resolution changed, of course, a little bit because of the format. So now it's 2048 by 1536 pixels, and that's a PPI, a pixel density of 264 compared to 287 here on the predecessor. So you might think this is less sharp than that one here, but let's now compare. Yeah, that's what I wanted to show you. The text's down here, and let me go a little bit closer so that you can see for yourself. It's working like that, I hope. And now compare for yourself. Do you really see a difference? I don't, not with a spectacle or a magnifier or whatever. So this for me is the same class of sharpness, same class of quality of the display, even if it's a little bit smaller. On the other hand, and that's of course something you really should think about, smaller always means you will have a smaller battery. In this case, of course, built, fixed in, not changeable, not at least in a few seconds. Now only 4,870 milliamps, 4,870, compared to 7,900 over here, or the iPad Air 2, 7,340. So this is, of course, the problem with that one here. And this makes me think that's not the successor of the first Tab S, but just an alternative in case you say, okay, this one is too big and too heavy for me. I don't use it that much. I like it more lightweight, just some hours in the evening or sitting on the couch or something. And then this is, of course, way more comfortable if the runtime of the battery is enough for you. I can't tell you at the moment, I have to test that still, what the real usage runtime will be, but of course it will be less than on the predecessor, of course. On the other hand, you have, of course, newer technology, starting with new processor. It's the Exynos 5443 instead of 5420, so meaning it's not that big a difference. You have again 8 cores like on the predecessor. The clock rate is now 1.9 plus 1.3 gigahertz instead of 1.2, so don't care about that. And the predecessor already had 3 gigabyte of RAM, that's the same, but you have now double the data memory, meaning 32 gigabyte internal instead of 16. And here on the side, you will find these 2 slots. The first is for SD card, up to 128 gigs. So no problem at all with that. And this is the 4G version, including here a SIM slot. So still there will be a just Wi-Fi only version for around about $80 less. Prices, by the way, for 519 and 599 euros, including tax, without any contract, at least here in Germany, Europe, just to give you a hint. So meaning the same price range like on the predecessor, that was up to 599 euros too, with the bigger screen, of course. Yeah, and there's a little bit more I want to show on the back side, because camera seems to be the same, as it's 8 megapixels and 2.1 on the front, but you find here that you have on the predecessor, there was that white LED flash. You don't have this one anymore. And just for a design, if you compare it, okay, this is both plastic, but this looked like something at least. And here on the new one, it's, yeah, a little bit, yeah, just plain matte, black. Yeah, no design at all, let me call it like that. And by the way, in case you're wondering, what the hell is this over here? These little docks, or what to call it, you can attach your accessory, example, covers, or there's a cover for this one here, including a hardware keyboard, and that's be attached here. Data comes via Bluetooth, of course, so this is for that one here. Yeah, and it's not looking like 600 euros, let me call it like that, but on the other hand, it's really great, and I love the feeling. So this is something I can really say, don't buy this, but it depends, of course, on what you want to do and what are your situations you're using your tablet in. Yeah, again, let me compare the size. So if you can see that in the video, you might now have a little bit more information for your own decision. Is it the Tab S2 you want to buy, or do you stay with the predecessor, with the bigger one here? Or even maybe this is just an alternative, just as I told you, you have now the decision, as the first one is still available, at least for my information, in most countries around the globe. Yeah, I hope I could help you a little bit with this additional information on the Samsung Galaxy Tab S2. Thanks for watching, take care, and bye.